Thank you so much, Mr. Ronald. Thank you, Mr. Ronald. Allow me now to invite Maria Goretti Katende to take us through their presentation.
Looks like there was a hand from Sam Spark.
Sam Spark, unmute.
Hello, morning. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, go on. We are hearing you.
Okay, the question I have is, how do we calculate taxable income when we are not given the gross income in the question? Like the question we have in number 61 has no the gross income, and they are telling us to calculate the taxable income. So I would like you to highlight more about it.
Okay, thank you so much. We are going to sum up everything concerning taxation when St. Paul and Collins come on board. For those cases, we are going to talk about a case whereby that case you are talking about, we are going to talk about it, and we shall let you know how you obtain it. So let me ask St. Paul and Collins, prepare to answer that question when your turn comes. But let me first call upon St. Maria Goretti Katende to take us through their number, and then we shall have St. Paul Collins, then we shall have Smark coming in again. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mr. Moses Richie, S4 from Maria Goretti Katende SS. I'm going to present you the number about functions and 87. You're given the f of x as sorry guys, this is f of x equals to 5 minus 2x. And the question wants us to find this is f negative 3. So we shall work out. We will consider this, the first f here, to be the x of the second f, like you're getting the same function and you're putting it in the same function. Because this is a function of the same letter f. Therefore, you will consider this to be the function of the second f. Therefore, we shall first find f circling of f into what? X. For us to simplify this negative 3, because not that everyone will be able to get this negative 3 at the start. First, work out the f circling of f, x. So we shall work it out by this. Remember, you have been given what? F of x. F of x is what? It's 5 minus 2x. Therefore, we shall get this x, this 5 minus 2x is the one we shall put in the place of what? Of this x here. The one here. The one at the, which is at fx. This is where this 5 minus x will be put. Therefore, we shall get 5 minus 2. Remember, this is what you are going to replace with what? With the x into 5 minus 2x. And this will be f of x equals to that. Whereby this will be 5. You start multiplying Negative 2 will affect every number here inside. You start -2 times the 5 here. You get -10.
Can you try to write up? We may not be able to see what you're writing down.
Are we losing Saint Maria Goretti?
They are back.
I'm still fixing it.
You can.
So,
Okay.
sorry guys. We were multiplying.
Pick the pen again. First, pick the pen again.
This is the step where we were. We were finding we're finding f of f circling x, f of what x, and we got 5 minus 2 into bracket 5 minus 2x, whereby this -2 has to affect every number here inside. We start by saying -2 times the +5. We shall get a -10. And -2 times -x. Be careful of the signs, because when the signs are the same, you always get a what? A positive. And when the signs are different, you get a negative. So this is -2 times -2x. You have what? You have 4. You have +4 because of the signs. It's negative and negative. You get +4x. So here you get 5 minus 10. This is 5 is the positive and 10 is a negative. Therefore, you get the answer as what? -5 plus 4x. But remember, this is just f circling of x, f of x. It's this. But remember, we have to find f circling f of -3. Therefore, you just have to substitute where you see the x. Remember, you've already found f circling of fx. Therefore, you have to just replace this x, the x here, with the -3 here. Therefore, this will be -5 plus 4 into bracket. You have to put this. Don't put again the x, because this -3 will replace this x. Therefore, you get -3 and replace it here. You'll be having here -5 plus. Remember, this one is positive. When it affects this, you get a what? A -12. Charge the signs here. -5, a positive and a negative. You always get a what? A negative. As in the beginning, I'd said, when the signs are the same, you get a positive, but when the signs are different, you get a negative. And these signs here are negative. Therefore, we shall get a negative here, a -12. You're having -12 minus 12, -5 minus 12. You expect the debt to be increasing. Therefore, you get -17. You come here and conclude. Therefore, F circling of F, -3, it will give you what? -7, -17. That was part A. Now we are going to part B. Part B. Part B of number 87. They have given us the function of x, g of x, it's equal to x squared plus 8. They want us to first find the function of g of 2x. But remember, we say they have given the function of f of g of x, it's x squared plus 8. This one, as we said in the beginning, the number here, this 2x, it will just replace the x you're seeing in this equation of g of x. Therefore, for you to get your g of 2x, the 2x will have to take up the place of x, whereby x is being squared. Therefore, you have to square this 2x. Don't square only one number. That's the mistake that students make. You have to square the whole number here. It's 2x, it is a single number. Therefore, you have to square it, plus 8. When you're multiplying 2x, this is 2x. You have to get this squared. It will go into 2. It will go here, 2 squared and what? X squared. That's what this means. Plus your 8. 2 squared, what do you get? That's 4. And x squared, you always get what? X squared plus 8. Come and conclude your answer. Therefore, g of 2x, it will be 4x squared plus 8. That's our part B. Part B has a second part of it. This was our Roman 1. So you have to go to the second part. This is B Roman 2. They want us to find the inverse of x, of fx. Here, when you see the inverse of any function, you have to first let that function be represented by any unknown. Therefore, let us say, let f of x be y, any unknown that you want, not that you always represent by y. You can use the first letter of your name, any letter that you want, maybe the first letter of your girlfriend's name, any. Therefore, the function of f, they gave us our f. This is fx. It will be equivalent what to y, because here you've already stated it. Let f of x be what? Y. Therefore, this b, it's the same as an equal sign. Now you have the function of x. The function of x was given to us as f of x. It was given to us as 5 minus 2x equals to what? Y. Here you have to make x the subject. So we have to take, you have to bring this y this side and the x will go this side. Therefore, here, at this step here, it's better for you to make y. You have to first make y. You have to make y be on the left-hand side, because some students may make mistakes. They are not the equation may be on the left side, whereby some people go off. Therefore, it's better for you to make your y to be on the left side, because we need to find our subject as x. Therefore, y should be on the left side. So it's better for us to write it in this form. Here, you have to take this x this side. Remember, we are interested in leaving x lonely. Therefore, we shall leave this x. Remember, it's a negative here. When it comes this side, it will be a positive. We are interested in getting x as what? As our subject. Therefore, we bring x this side. And 5, remember, this is a positive. Therefore, it crosses this side to become a negative. We are interested in making x the subject. That's why we have to leave x at the left-hand side of the equal sign. Remember, when you're making x the subject, it should be x only. Therefore, you have to reduce by this 2, divide by 2, both sides by 2. Here you will remain with x equals to 5 minus y out of 2. We have x is equal to 5 minus y out of 2. But remember, they want us to find the inverse. Therefore, whenever you're finding the inverse, this x, we have to replace our y we got. Therefore, it will be 5 minus x out of 2. That will be the inverse. Therefore, the inverse of f of x, it will be 5 minus x out of 2. You have to show every step that you're working out. So that was the question. It was stopping at that number.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Maria Goret Katende. Yes, those having questions, this is a time to ask in case you are finding any challenge with functions, composite function. Yes, Mbali SS. Mbali SS. Teacher Agnes, Mr. Masaba, they can unmute.
Hello, this is Patrick from St. Joseph's. Now my question is, what if I say 5 minus 2x is equals to y, and I take 5 to the side of y, and I divide by -2, and I divide both sides by -2, and I get x is equals to y minus 5 out of -2. Will I be wrong?
My name is Alex from Barry Senior Secondary School. My question is on A, 87A. Where the 32x? For him, he wrote f of x equals 5 minus 2 without putting x. I want him to explain for me that.
Which part exactly?
Yeah, explain for me that.
Can you repeat for me the question, please, sir?
Here,
the question is, on B Roman number 2, they said inverse of x, and they said f of x is equals to y, and the f of x was 5 minus 2x is equals to y. So it was -2x, and then I took 5 to the side of y, it became negative. And then I got -2x is equals to 5 minus y minus 5. And then I divided both sides by -2. I divided both sides by -2, and I got x is equals to y minus 5 divided by -2.
Okay, thank you. My name is Uncle Flavia from Matrices. I have a question. Like, assuming they have given you f inverse of x equals to 5 minus 2x, and they ask you to find f of x. How are you supposed to work it out? Thank you.
Please, can you pardon the question? And I write it.
Okay, it's like this.
Yeah.
If they have given you f inverse of x as 5 minus 2x.
5 minus 2x.
Yeah. And then they ask you to find f of x.
F of x.
X.
Therefore, it will be still the same process because they're just trying to tell you to take it back into f of x. Therefore, you have to follow that same process used to find the inverse. So, therefore, you will let the f inverse of x to be what? To be y. And here, y is equal to our inverse, which is 5 minus 2x. You have to make your x negative, the x the subject. Therefore, this -2 will come this side, and the y will cross the equal sign. You get positive 2x equals to 5 minus y. You reduce by 2. Therefore, x is, remember you have to, you were not given the y. This is y. It's 5 minus y out of 2. Therefore, f of x, it will be 5. Automatically, the x, we have to replace this what? The y here, which is 5x out of 2. That is it. That's how you have to go back to the function of f of x. Have I answered your question? Let me answer someone who had asked this question. But if you had got the answer as x minus 5 out of -2. Okay, I will take the, let me repeat the procedures that are going to take us to this answer. It is, therefore, we are going to make, if we say let y be f of x, then you put your y at the right side, whereby it will be 5 minus 2x equals to y. You can keep the y there still, but you will see the disadvantage of using this. Then the y will come this side and the x goes the other side. Therefore, 5 minus y equals to 2x.
But I need x. What if I take the 5 and I
Why
need
take the 5 the other side? Eh? Okay. We shall, this is.
This thing is quite challenging.
It is 5. 5 is a positive to come this side. Minus 2x equals to y minus 5. Therefore, we shall divide by -2x, divide by -2. Therefore, our x will be y minus 5 out of -2. We have x equals to y minus our 5 out of negative 2. I think at this moment, you're having a denominator to be a negative. Therefore, the inverse you have, it will be x. You replace the y here with the x here, whereby it will be x minus 5 out of negative 2x. This, it's the same, because when you simplify this one, the answer you're getting here, the answer we have here, x minus 5 out of negative 2, is equal to, it's the same as 5 minus x out of 2. This is where the difference, this is where the similarity comes from. When you get x minus 5 out of negative 2, I think your denominator is a negative. Therefore, if you simplify this negative sign, the negative sign that this denominator is containing, it will affect the x here, which is a positive, so that you get your x as a what? A negative x. And this sign will affect the negative sign here on 5, so that you get a positive 5 out of 2, whereby you start with a positive 1, then starting with a negative, whereby it will be 5 minus x out of 2, whereby it's the same answer with what we have here. So they are all correct, but to avoid the negative here, to avoid this negative, we start with y, but they are all the same answers. Any other question?
Okay, I think you have exhausted all the questions. Thank you.
Mr. Kaziba?
Yes, teacher Esther.
We have one maybe last question from Bali Secondary School, if you can take it, sir.
Yes, Mbali.
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Magom Stephen from Mbale Secondary School. That is senior 4. Okay, I'm having a question about on what you have just said. Another question, saying that f of x is equals to x minus 5 all over 2.
First, pardon.
Again, G. What?
Can you please help me and pardon the question?
Another question is, okay, the question is like this, given that f of x is equals to x minus 5 all over 2.
Yes.
Then g of x, g of x, g.
Yes. Yes.
Is equals 3 of x.
3x.
Minus 6.
Yes.
All over 3.
Yeah.
Roman 1. Find f of g of x. Then Roman 2. Find f of g of 2, of negative 2.
Of negative 2.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you. I'd like to know how you... Okay.
If you had followed me from the beginning, I'd say if they give you this, the Roman 1, this is our Roman 1. This fg of x, therefore, what? To be into the first function. This g is our last function. It will be into of the function of what? This f. Therefore, you have to first find your g, the function of g of x. Therefore, the function of g G of x, it's already given to us. G of x, it's 3x minus 6 out of 3, whereby this function of GF, the function of G of x, it's the one that will be in 2 of the first function, which is f. So we shall substitute this into the function of f of x, whereby we shall put our answer we got on the function of G of x, where there is x. Therefore, this will be f into this will be into 3x minus 6 out of 3. That's what we shall be having. But remember, f of x is already given to us. Fg of x, we had f into 3x minus 6 out of 3. Therefore, we shall just substitute this on the function of what? Of f of x. Therefore, the function of f of x, it was we shall put this where we see our x, it is 2x minus 5 out of 2. Where this will be 2 into 3x minus 6 out of 3 minus 5 out of the 2. If this number can be divisible by this is, remember, this is one line, because we have put the whole of this into this x. Therefore, when you're going to multiply, this this will affect everything here inside. You get here 6x, 2 times negative 6, you get a negative 12 out of our 3. Remember, this 2 will come here and you get what? A 6, because this 2 is affecting every number here inside. Therefore, you get here 6. This will be 6 minus 5. Divide by the 2 outside. It's better for you to remove that all over, because all over it will be confusing. You therefore use a division sign. So,
excuse me.
Yes.
Can you first make that correction?
Yeah.
How you multiply that 2 when you have a fraction? Like, can you first give us a simple example? Like, when you have a half times 2, what do you get? Or you can use a third times 2. What do you get?
Here, for example, yeah. A third times what?
Times 2.
Times 2.
Mm. Oh. A third times 2. There's something I want you to notice.
A third times 2. Here you multiply the denominator as lonely and the numerator as lonely, whereby this one has a denominator of 1, a silent one. This will be 1 times 2 out of 3 times 1, whereby you get your answer as what? 2 out of 3.
So does the numerator affect the denominator for that such a fraction?
For this? For this?
Yes.
For this, you have to multiply this side. It will multiply only the numerator, because according to this, we multiply the numerator as lonely and the denominator as lonely. Thank you for that observation. So here we have to multiply 2 times 3x, you get 6x, and negative 6 times 2, you have to get negative 12, and this one will remain 3, because when you get 1 times 3, you always get what? A 3. Therefore, this had to be a 3. Thank you. You're going to put this out of 1 to make this also a fraction, because this we are having a fraction. And here we have 6x minus 12. This is minus 12 out of our 3. Because remember, this 3 we got by saying 1 times 3 minus the 5 into bracket. 2 is dividing the whole of this number. Now, since here we have a fraction here, we shall also make this 5 to have a fraction, whereby we shall put there out of 1. Find the LCM of 3 and 1. The LCM will be 3. 3 divided by the 3, you get 1. 1 times this, you get 6x minus 12. 3 divided by 1, you get 3 times negative 5. You get a negative 15 out of, it's being divided by 2. So here you get 6x, negative 12 minus negative 15. You have to get negative 27 out of our 3. Divide by the 2. So you divide this. Here you get negative, you get 6x minus 27 divided by 3. Here you get the LC, the reciprocal. Therefore, when you're applying the reciprocal, you ask these 2 we have out of 1. The reciprocal of 2, it's a half. Therefore, when you multiply this times 1, you get 6x minus 27 out of our 6. So this will be the final answer for that function. On Roman 2, here, since we have found the FD of x, therefore in Roman 2, you will just substitute. Where there's x, you put that negative 2. We shall put the other negative 2 in this position, whereby you get 6 into negative 2 minus 27 out of 6. Here I'll get negative 12 minus 27 out of 6. And this will give you, it's a negative 39 out of 6. It's giving us negative 39 out of 6. Here I'll get negative 6.5. That will be the answer for that function. Any other question?
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, we have from Sam's Park High School. That is very true. When you look at the numbers you had, they could be reduced because 3 was a common factor. Thank you for that observation. That is very correct. You can as well simplify that expression. Then there was someone asking about fg of x, gf of x. When you are asked those two things, those two functions do not commute, so they cannot be interchanged. So first find fg of x, find gf of x, and then equate the two functions. In most cases, you come up with an equation. So it can be just a linear equation, or it can be a quadratic equation, and then you can solve that. But still now I'm noticing, because functions is one of the must-do numbers. When you are preparing for paper 2, be sure that in section A, you have a number of function and mapping, and also in section B, you have a number of function and mapping. Meaning that once you master how to do functions and mappings, you have 4 marks in section A, you have 12 marks in section B, equaling to 16 marks. So please, we need to go with the 16 marks already in our pockets. So please, let's practice functions and mapping such that we are very set for paper 2. Now, allow me, thank you so much, St. Maria Goretti Katende. Thank you so much, Teacher Vian. I want to thank all those schools that have sent in their students they are having on a call. Please, let's continue using the chat to send in the students we have. Kasao SS, Teacher Lawrence, thank you so much. St. Michael High School, Sam's Park High School, we are really very grateful. And all Bugunzu SS are very far away from in the east. Thank you so much. Now allow me to invite now SMAC to take us through their second presentation, and then we shall have another school come. SMAC. SMAC, unmute, and you take us through. Those still having questions, have them in the chat. We shall be answering them during the breaks. And also we shall have all those answered in the link that Mr. Ronald has already shared in the chat. SMAC. St. Paul and Paulins, thank you so much for joining. Teacher Ronald and Emma, thank you for the great work. Teacher Agnes Navie, thank you so much for mobilizing Bali SS. Teacher Javian Joseph, thank you so much for joining. Okay, SMAC, we are ready. Sure.
here to present inequalities is Mark once again. And my name is Amata Edwin, and I'm accompanied by Odot Jesse to represent SMARC in this math contest. This is our second presentation, and we're going to discuss linear programming. And we're doing question 135 today. So the question says that Judith has been sent to the nearby supermarket to buy some apples and oranges. Apples cost 500 shillings each, and oranges cost 250 shillings each. She's given only 2,000 shillings to spend. She must not buy more than 2 apples, and she must buy at least 4 oranges. She must also buy at least 6 fruits altogether, because her family has 6 members. So when doing linear programming, I think extracting inequalities from all these stories is the trickiest part, and when you've done all that, you move on smoothly. So let us extract the inequalities from all this. Shall read line by line while extracting the inequalities. Judith has been sent to the nearby supermarket to buy some apples and oranges. It says that apples cost 500 shillings each, and oranges cost 250 shillings each. If she is given only 2,000 shillings to spend, I think we can get our first inequality from that statement. From this. From the statement that says, up and apple costs 500 shillings each. Costs 500 shillings each, and oranges cost 250 shillings each. And she's given only 2,000 shillings to spend.
Why are they not showing the screen?
Some people have gone out of the participation. They were 44.
Mark, kindly share your screen. We are not seeing your screen now.
So we're here. So from the statement that says an apple costs 500 shillings each, and oranges cost 250 shillings each, and she's given only 2,000 shillings to spend. This is our statement, and we can derive our first inequality from there. So here are the inequalities. Here are the inequalities. And the first one that says, we have to first define our what? We have to define our variables. We have apples and oranges. Now, in most cases, they will give us what to define them. For example, they will say apples are X and oranges are Y. But in this case, they haven't, so we shall have to define them, and we shall say let X represent the number of apples, and Y represent number of oranges. So from our first from our first statement, the portion where we extract the inequality, and we're seeing that each orange is 250 shillings and each apple is 500 shillings. But then she's given only 2,000 shillings to spend, which means she cannot spend more than what she has. Therefore, if she spends, if she buys a number of apples X, and each is 500, which means 500X is what she'll spend for that number, for that particular number of apples X. So 500X plus what she spends on the oranges will be Y times the price of each orange, which is 250 shillings. So we have 250Y should be less than or equal to the amount of money that she's given, which is 2,000 shillings. That is our first inequality, but we shall have to plot this somewhere, and which means we shall need to reduce this, and we can use a common factor here that is 250. So if you divide throughout by 250, shall end up with 500 divided by 250, that is 2. So we shall have 2x plus y is less than or equal to 8. And this is our first inequality. So yeah, that is our first inequality. And we can move on now. The question continues to say she must not buy more than 2 apples. If they say she must not buy more than 2 apples, it means the number of apples she's buying, is less than or equal to 2. Therefore, x is less than or equal to 2. This is our second inequality. The question continues to say she must buy at least 4 oranges, which means the number of oranges y that she is buying must be at least 4, which means it should be greater than or equal to 4. And this is our third inequality. This is our third inequality. The question also continues to say she must also buy at least 6 fruits altogether because her family has 6 members. Or if her family has 6 members, that means that the total number of fruits will be x plus y, and this must be at least 6. Therefore, it is greater than or equal to 6, so that everyone in our family can get the fruits. This is our formula. So they want us to derive 6 inequalities. So the last 2 inequalities that we can obtain from all this is that when she goes out to buy the fruits, we know that she must come back. She cannot buy negative fruits. Therefore, we can derive inequalities that say that the number of apples x is either greater than or equal to 0 because she cannot get negative fruits, and y, the number of oranges y, is greater than or equal to 0 as well. These are our 6 inequalities. So that is the first part of the question. That's the first part of the question. So we can now move on to the next part of the question, which says, plot these inequalities on the same axis and shade out the unwanted regions. So to plot these inequalities, we shall need to get those boundary lines that will show us exactly which ones that will differentiate for us the unwanted and the wanted regions. So to get the boundary lines, we shall need to first change these inequalities into equations by changing the inequality symbols into equal signs. And from there, we can get the coordinates to plot on our graph papers. So from the first one, 2x plus y is less than or equal to 8. This one we shall change it to 2x plus y is equal to 8. And so from this, we can get values of x and values of y. And from this, we know that when x is 0, when we substitute it in this equation, we shall get that y is 4. When x is 0, we get that y is 8. And when y is 0, we get that x is 4. Therefore, our two coordinates to plot on our graph are 0, 8 and 4, 0. That is our first line. Then our next line is this one from x is less than or equal to 2. Our equation is x is equal to 2. And from this one, we know that the line x is equal to 2 is that vertical line whose you can get coordinates like 2, 0, 2, 1. Yeah. And our next is y is greater than or equal to 4. Our equation will be y is equal to 4. Y is equal to 4 is that horizontal line with points 0, 4, 0, 4, and 4. Our next is x plus y is greater than or equal to 6. Our equation will be x plus y is equal to 6. And when we have these, when our x is 0, our y will be 6. And when our y is 0, our x will be 6 as well. So our coordinates will be 0, 6 and 6, 0. And our last two, our x is greater than or equal to 0. Our equation is x is equal to 0, and this we all know is the y-axis. And then the last one is y is greater than or equal to 0. The equation is y is equal to 0, and this we all know is the x-axis. So those are our coordinates to plot and to draw the lines that we shall use to generate our feasible region. So let me invite my friend here to take you through how to plot the graph.
Everyone, today we're going to go through plotting the graph. So when they give you a graph paper like this, the first thing to do is to draw your axis, which will be like this. Like this. So this is y-axis, x is equal to 0, and this is x-axis, y is equal to 0. So the first thing I want us to do is to plot the inequalities on the same axis. So all the lines, the border lines should appear on this graph. So we demarcate using us. Usually they give you a scale, whether 1 centimeter should represent 2 values or 1. So here we're going to use 1 centimeter representing 2. Let's first do this. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The same here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. That's the zeros as well for each axis. So here when we have the, here we already got the coordinates for the borderlines. There are 6 of them. So with the first one, that's 2x plus y is less than or equal to 8. That's 0, 8, and 4, 0. So 0, 8 is here. 0, 8. This is 4, 0. So there we'll have to draw a line. So you connect the 2 points to each other and you label the line 2x plus y is equal to 2x plus y less than 8. I'm being told it's because yeah, so you should come out with something like this. This is a drawn graph. So when you have this, you get your values. It's an inequality. So there's a shaded region and an unshaded region. The shaded region represents a side that does not fit within the inequality. So in order to find out that side, you get values of x and y. Here we're going to use any random like 0, 0, 0, 0, and we see if it fits into this inequality. So if we insert 0, it will be 2 times 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 8. It will be 0 is less than or equal to 8, which fits into the inequality. That means this side fits into the inequality, this side isn't allowed. So we shade it out. Then you come out with something like that. Then we do the same for the next inequality. The next line, which is x plus y is greater than or equal to 6. Same thing with the values, you plot them. And here it's represented as a blue line. Then we see whether our values fit into the inequality. So we're going to use 0, 0 again, since it's the easiest to use. So 0 plus 0 is greater than 0. Now this is not correct, so we're going to end up shading this side. Since 0 is less than 6 and the inequality needs values a sum that's greater than 6. So 0 does not fit, so it's in the shaded region. Now anything that's not in the shaded region at the end, so after doing that with all your other lines, you come up with one region that's not shaded. That's the feasible region. Now this feasible region, let's highlight that as this yellow region here on the graph is a feasible region. The one that complies with all the inequalities given. So this is a feasible region, and this is how your graph should look at the end of the plotting. This final graph here. So then, yeah, I've shaded out the unwanted region. So part 3 tells us to list the possible combinations of apples and oranges due to different patches. So that means in the feasible region, the whole points that are in the feasible region, because we can't buy 0.5 apples or 0.5 oranges, so we have to look for the whole points By whole points, I mean 1, 2, and basically no point with a decimal. Yeah, so here let's go into our graph here. Any point that's within this visible region that has no decimal, any 2 points, will comply with what they want. So here we have 0, 8, 8, we have 0, 7 as well, 0, 6. This is 0.5 on the x-axis, so it's not allowed. Then here we have 1, 6. We have 2, 4. One 5 as well. Those are all the possible combinations of values we have. But they ask for combinations of apples and oranges, so you have to interpret this. So the possible ones are 0 apples and 8 oranges, 0 apples again, and 7 oranges, 0 apples, and 6 oranges, 1 apple, and 6 oranges, 2 apples, 4 oranges, plus 1 apple and 5 oranges. And these are the possible combinations of apples and oranges Judith can purchase with her 2,000 shillings. That's part 3. So part 4, I would like to give it back to.
So for part 4, it says find how many apples and oranges should be purchased so as to minimize her expenditure while maximizing purchases. So when minimizing or maximizing, we have to first identify our objective function. So the objective function is the one that will show you how these values will change and how you will get to know exactly which ones will fit. So from this, our objective function is, since they're talking about minimizing expenditure, our objective function should be the one that is talking about costs, and that was the inequality that we got from saying that. That was the inequality that we got from saying that 500x plus 250y that was the inequality that we got from saying that 500x plus 250y is less than or equal to 2,000 shillings. Yes, that is this inequality here. So from this, we can derive our objective function as from this, we can derive our objective function as 500x plus 250y. So now when minimizing, we shall So now we need to go back and look at our feasible region. And our feasible region is this one that we have highlighted in yellow. This one. So when we are minimizing, we intend to minimize the expenditure. So when minimizing expenditure, when minimizing, we need to look at the region of the feasible, the part of the feasible region that gives us the lowest values, that are the lowest in this shape. So from this, you can see it's a triangle. You can see that this lower end of the triangle is the one that will give us the lowest ones. So in minimizing, we deal with those ones, and in maximizing, we deal with the upper ones. So right now we're minimizing. So now looking at the feasible region, you can see those lowest points. Let me make a table here of the values. So we can make a table here of values. Then what we shall do to those values? 450y, that is 500x, which is our objective function. So our first coordinates, first values, we can pick from the feasible region. So pick from the feasible region is this one, 0.6. Where x is 0. X is 0 and y is 6. Another one we can pick, remember we pick only the whole numbers. So another one we can pick is 1.5 here. Because this is 0.5 since 2 centimeters represent 1 unit. So shall pick 1.5 as our next set of values. And lastly, we can pick this. We are minimizing expenditure. So now we substitute these coordinates, these values that we got, into our objective function to see which one gives us the lowest amount of money she can spend. And that will be the number of apples and oranges that Judith needs to buy to minimize her expenditure to the least. Yeah. So our first is 250, where y, for this first one, where y is 6, plus 500, where x is 0. And this gives us 1,500 shillings. 1,500 shillings. And for the next one, where our y is 5, 250 times 5, plus, where our x is 1, this gives us 1,750 shillings. Then the last one is where our y is 4, and our x is 2. This gives us 2,000. Yes. So when we go back to our question, we see they ask us to find how many apples and oranges should be purchased so as to minimize our expenditure while maximizing our purchases. So we have minimized our expenditure, but then we need to get the amount that the number of oranges, the number of fruits altogether that you buy while spending the least amount of money. And after working this all out, we realize that the least amount of money here is 1,500 shillings. Therefore, Judith needs to buy zero apples and 6 fruits and 6 oranges. Sorry. If she wants to use the least amount of money possible and buy a very big number of fruits. So this is the answer to the final answer. This is the answer to that final question. And if there are any questions, we would like to welcome them right now.
So grateful for the work. This is Mande Javira from St. Joseph's Hill Secondary School.
Yes.
So I'd like to know about rather to be clarified on if I'm to minimize, is it a must to follow the lowest lane?
No, it is not a must, but if you look at all the points in the feasible region, let me give you the feasible region here. In your feasible region here, so when you start picking coordinates, you realize that the ones that will give you the lowest values and the lowest amount of money will be the ones that lie on the lowest side of the shape that is formed in the feasible region. So it's basically like a shortcut when minimizing, and when maximizing, even the upper part of the shape that the feasible region is in will be the ones to give you the values that will maximize completely. So that's one. Hope I've answered you.
Thank you.
Yes, hi. The question was, what should they use? Things which are relevant a lot of person in your school.
Okay, it looks like we don't have more questions. Mr. Kaziba? Have we lost Mr. Kaziba?
For this question.
Okay, thank you, St. Mary's College Subi, for that presentation. I know we might require you to present again towards the end, but we need to move on and get another school presenting. Mr. Kaziba, are you there? Okay. Okay, we have some schools that have not yet presented. Could you let us know who is ready to present? St. Lawrence, you had said you'd present. Bugunju SS, you'd present. Bogo High, do you have another question? There was a school to come on with taxation again.
Bring that thing. There is where I have the question. Where I have the question.
Asianzu Hope. Which school is that?
It is St. Joseph's Hill Secondary School found in Chenjojo District.
Okay. Are you ready to present?
No, we are individual participants. We got.
Okay. But even individual participants could present if they are ready. Okay. If your school is ready to present, please put up your hand.
Teacher Ronald?
Yes, Mr. Kaziba, we are losing you.
Okay, sorry. Can we have St. Pan Pauline's present? Then we can have Mbale SS come. St. Pan Pauline's. Okay, I'm not seeing St. Pan Pauline's on the call. St. Pan Pauline's. Okay, St. Pan Pauline's is not on the call. Let's have Mbale SS.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Sebuf is here. Yes, Mr. Sebuf, we can have St. Pan Pauline's.
The person who picked the ball went praying with him.
Where is the mode for putting up the hand?
You are disorganizing the meeting.
Okay, let them go ahead and we see.
Hello. This is Pan Pauline's. I'm going to present number 61. Question goes, the table below shows the income tax rates of government employees. Then we have been given the tax structures given from 100,000 shillings to 200,000 shillings, the tax rate is 10%. And then from 200,000 shillings to 300,000 shillings is 20%. Then from 300,000 shillings to 400,000 shillings, tax rate is 30%. Then from 400,000 shillings to 500,000 shillings is 40%. Then from 500,000 shillings and over, the tax rate is 55%. Then an employee who earns 69,526 shillings as monthly income tax is entitled to the following allowances. Marriage allowance is shillings 100,000 is 126,500 per month. Then housing and transport is shillings 105,585. Then medical care is shillings 48,000 per month. Then they have told us to find his taxable income. The taxable income, we are going to find it using the tax structure of the income tax. We are not going to find it from gross pay because we have not been given it. So using our income tax, we are going to let the taxable income be Y. Then from 100,000 shillings to 200,000 shillings, the tax rate is 10 over 100 into bracket 200,000 shillings minus 100,000 shillings. Then the income tax on that and that range is shillings 10,000 shillings. Then on the next income tax is 200,000 shillings to 300,000 shillings. Then we will say that 20% over is 20 over 100 times 300,000 shillings minus 200,000 shillings. Then the income tax in that range is 20,000 shillings. While finding this income tax, we will be considering our monthly income tax, which is given. And so if we sum up those two, they are not giving us what they gave.
Excuse me, I don't know whether it's this side, but we can't see your screen. We need to find out maybe. Is it? We can't see your screen.
Mr. Sebofo. Mr. Sebofo, I don't know. Are you using the video? Is the child using the board?
Yes.
Teacher Ronald, Mr. Sebofo, I think we need Mr. Sebofo?
Yes.
Yes, Teacher Emma, we are not seeing the screen.
Okay, we are trying to share our screen. Maybe you need to be a little patient.
Let's give them some minutes. But let me ask Central to prepare and Ingale.
Yes, can you see us?
Your screen, not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet. Not yet. Can we give you some more minutes to sort it out again? Because I don't know why it is failing.
Yes, can you see us?
Not yet, not yet.
Maybe you give us some time, then we resolve the issue.
Okay, let us give you some more time. Let me now ask St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence, we are ready to listen to number 98. So St. Lawrence is going to take us through circle properties. Number 98. Then we have also Bugonzi. St. Lawrence, can you go on and share your screen? Okay. St. Lawrence, we are not getting you. St. Lawrence. I'm failing to get St. Lawrence. Bugonzu SS, are you ready? you can come in. Bugonzo SS, are you ready? Bugonzo SS, are you ready? Okay. Bugonzo SS, are you ready? I'm also failing to get Bugonzo. Could it be network issues? Then, okay. Sans Park High School. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, Mbogo, you can first finish. Mbogo High School, you can first take us to number 3.
Mbogo High School, we are presenting number 33. Yes, number 33. The question says, the mode of 3, 10, 8, 4, 4, 11, 1, 3, and 12 is 3. Find A, the value of 1. So, as you all know, modes, the first thing you're given us in the question is the mode. Mode, that's the number with the highest frequency in the items given. So we are having 10 with a frequency of 1. We are having 3, according to the values, we are having 3 with a frequency of 2, 10 with a frequency of 1, 8 with a frequency of 1, 4 with a frequency of 2, 11 with a frequency of 1, and 12 with a frequency of 1. So in 3 we have 4 with frequency 2 and 3 with frequency 2. And we have a missing value y. So if we are to make, if we are to make 3 to qualify to be the mode, meaning we have to give it a higher frequency. So that's why if we make y 4, meaning this 3 will not qualify to be the mode. But if I make y 3, meaning 3 will gain a frequency of 3, making it the highest frequency, hence it qualifies to be a mode. That's why part A, we have the answer of y. So we have y equaling to 3. On part B, they're telling us to find the mean. Mean, I'll have the values of x. During the frequency table, I have values of x. Yes, I'll have values of x, where I will have 3, the values given. We have 3, 4, 8, 10, 11, and 12. And respectively, frequency. We say we are giving y, we are making y 3. So meaning y, meaning 3, the value 3 will have a frequency of 3. And then 4 remains with a frequency of 2. 8 frequency 1, 10 frequency 1, 11 frequency 1, and 12 frequency 1. And the summation f, when I add all the values of f, I'll have summation f equaling to 9. Then I'll have fx. Fx, remember we say mean is equal to summation fx divided by summation f. That's why I should find the fx in my frequency table. So fx, I'll be multiplying, I'll be finding the product of f and x. And I'll have 3 respectively according to the respective frequencies. So 3 times 3, I'll have 9, 4 times 2, 8, 8 times 1, 8, 10 times 1, 10, 11 times 1, 11, and 12 times 1, 12. And when I sum that all up, I'll have a summation fx of 58. And following the formula of mean as summation fx divided by summation f, I'll have 58 divided by 9, giving me an answer of 6.4444 as my mean. Thank you.
58.
Any questions?
In case you have a question, please raise up your hand. I think people have understood. Thank you so much, Bogo High School, for the presentation and for taking us through statistics. Thank you so much. Allow me now to welcome Mbali SS to take us through number 91. Mbali SS, you are taking us through number 91. So those having questions, let's open number 91. Mr. Masaba, hope number 91, the presenter is ready. Mbali SS.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Kaziva. We are quickly picking that number. Mr. Kaziva, that is 91, not so?
Yes, 91.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. And we will be starting shortly because we will be spotlighting this whiteboard here. Now you will help me spotlight the Matrices camera because it is the one we're going to use.
Okay, cheers.
You'll be holding. So now I start. And the teachers, students, and the other listeners online. My name is Wesonga Isma from Mbale Secondary School, located in the Eastern Uganda. Okay, without wasting time, allow me to introduce you to the main topic. I'm going to take you through functions and the topic of functions. As you know, functions, it is a topic that is being examined in the paper 2. So now, I'm going to take you through the question 91. It is saying, given that f of x is equals to 8x plus 5, and g of x is equals to 3x minus 5. As we all know, that this is a single function. With this one is also a single function. Now the question goes, they're saying that part A is saying g of, they're saying that find fg. Sorry. I'm sorry. They want fg of x from my solution to this question, as it is saying that we find the fg of x, I'm going to first outline from the question what they're saying, that f of x is 8x plus 5. Now they want fg of x. Now from this, I'm going, since this one is a composite function, I'm going to interpret it one by one. That this f of x is equals to this one, and then g of x is equals to this one. Now, for me to get fg of x, I'm going to make the value. I'm going to make the value of the whole value of g of x to be under the value of f of x. And this is going to be, I know my f of x is this one. So now from this one, I'm going to say 8x. Sorry, this is just f of this is the f of x is equals to 8 plus plus 5. So now my fg of x is going to be 8. I open the brackets. Now where there is x on f of x, I'm going to replace it with the value of g of x, which is 3x plus minus 5, then plus 5. Now, from here, I'm going to open the brackets. As we all know that when you are opening the brackets, you multiply the term outside the bracket with everything inside the bracket. And this is going to be, 8 times 3x, which is 24x. And then minus, this is 8 times 5, which is going to give me 40. And then plus this 5 outside the bracket. So now from here, I said that now my fg of x is going to be 24. When I correct like terms, it is going to be 24x minus, when I correct here like terms, negative 40 plus 5, it is going to give me negative 35. And this is my fg of x. And then this is my answer of fg of x. I continue with my part B, which is saying they want fg of 2. Sorry. They want fg of 2. So now, from my first solution in part A, I know fg of x is equals to 24x minus 35. Minus 35. So now from here, I'm going to say that from my part 1, I got my fg of x. My fg of x, it was 24x minus 35. Now they want fg of 2. Now in this case, I'm going to substitute 2 where there is x. For me to get this one, to solve this part B, I'm going to substitute 2 where there is x in this equation of mine. So now from my equation, it is saying 24x. Now here there is x, that means I'm going to substitute it with 2, which is going to be 24 times 2, then minus. I can put the bracket such that I I don't get confused. Then minus 35. Now from here, I say that now 24 times 2, I get 48, then minus 35. And then when I try to subtract, it is that I get 13 as my answer. So now this is my FG of 2. I think I can give you some time to copy if you are copying, and then we continue with other questions. My part B, my part C is saying my part C is saying that my part C is saying G, they want G of X. As I did in the previous questions, that my G of X is given, and then my F of X is given. So now for me to find the G of X, I'm going to get the value of the whole value of F of X, and then I substitute in, I take it as a value of G of X. I substitute the value of F of X where there is X in G. And I'm going to say my G of X is equals to 3x minus 5. And then if I'm to substitute in to get GF of X, is going to be, my GF of X is going to be 3 into, of course I said that where there is X, I'm going to substitute in is the value of F of X, and my F of X is 8, sorry, is 8x plus 5. And then I close the bracket, minus 5. Now I continue by opening the brackets. As I said, that when I'm opening the brackets, I'm to multiply the term outside the bracket with every item inside the bracket. And if I try to open the brackets, this is 3 times 8x, I get 24x, then plus 3 times 5, which is 15, then minus 5. Then my GF of X, I therefore conclude that is going to be, if I collect like terms, I'm going to have 24x plus If I collect here also like terms, this is 10. So therefore, this is my GF of X. I continue with the other question. It is saying, what this is saying, they want GF of 2. It's okay. So now here, I'm going to say that since I know my GF of X as this one, I'm going to just substitute in where there is X, I substitute it with 2. So now, according to my question, is saying that GF of X is equals to 24X plus 10. If then my GF of 2, it is now going to be, I'm going to substitute 2 where there is X. It's now going to be 24 times 2. 10 plus 10. And then if I solve this, I'm going to get 48, 10 plus 10. Which is equals to 58 as my GF of 2. That is my friends. That is, I think that friends, I think that is all about this number. In case of anything, you can ask.
Yeah, sir. I thank you for what you have done. I'm Tina Masco Emmanuel from St. Joseph Seal Secondary School, Chenjoju. What I would like to know, if you are given GF of X and also G of X, how do I get the F of X? Thank you.
Hello, sir. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I said if you are given G of X equaling 24X plus 10 and G of X equaling 3X minus 5, how do I get the F of X?
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
G of F of X.
If you are given G of X and also
G of X.
Yeah.
Yes. G of
How
X.
G of X equaling 3X minus 5.
3X minus 5.
Yeah. And also GF of X equaling 24X plus 10.
4X.
Yeah, plus 10.
4X plus 10.
24X plus 10.
Sorry, 4X.
24X plus 10.
24 plus 10. 24 plus 10.
Yeah, 24X plus 10. Then how do I get the F of X? Thank you.
Then F of X. How do I get F of X? This is the question. Now this one, how am I going to do it? If I want to get G of X. As the question is saying, that G of X is equals to 3X minus 5. And then GF of X is 24X plus 10.
Come closer to the mic.
I think allow me call upon my my colleague to help me with it.
Okay. My name is Mukera Esther. I've come to help my friend. So if you've been given a function g of x equals to 3x minus 5, and also give you gf of x equals to 24x plus 10. So when you are finding f of x, so we are finding f of x. We have been given g of x equals to 3x minus 5. And we have also been given a function of gf of x as 24x plus 10. So they want us to find f of x, but we have been given gf of x. It is the same as, so we have our g of x. So our g of x will be as is gf of x equals to, now our g, here we have f of x. We want to find this. So the g of x is given this, which is 3x minus 5. Then we will multiply. It will be 3x minus 5 into brackets. Then our f of x, we know our f, we want our f of x. So times, now this one here, you see, it is the what? It is the function of g of x. So we shall multiply to the function of what? F of x, which we are finding, will equal to our function f of x. Because if you have g, if you have gf of x, okay. So we have this one is 24x plus 10 will equal to, we are finding f of what? F of x we have. It is
I think I'll proceed from here. So before you continue with this, you'll ask yourself how we got g of f of x, okay? So you ask yourself how you got the g of f of x.
So to get g of f of x, we got the function of f of x and we put it in the function of g of x. And I think she has done here very well. She has told that g of f of x is equals to g into f of x. But the g of x is 3x minus 5. Then the g of f the g of f of x will be equals to 3 into f of x minus 5. Now, we can say that let f of x be equal to m. So that means my g of f of x will be equal to 3m minus 5. Now we have got that the g of f of x is equal to 3m minus 5, but the very g of f of x is equal to 24x plus 10. That means these two equations are what? They are equal, okay? So how do we get the m? So that means 3m minus 5 is equals to 24x plus 10. 3m is equals to 24x plus 10 minus 5. Yes, plus 5. Now 3m. Yes. Okay. 3m is equals to 24x plus 10 plus 5. My 3m is equals to 24x plus 15. So we're going to divide the whole fraction by 3. Now, when you have a plus b divided by c, the same as a divided by c plus b divided by c. So that means my m will be equal to 24x divided by 3 plus 15 divided by 3. So by 3, 1, by 3, 8, by 3, 1, by 3, 5. My m is equals to 8x plus 5. Therefore, yes, therefore, my f of x is equals to 8x plus 5. I think that's how it is. So is there any other question? Is there any other question I'd want to ask?
Can you zoom where you are having your f of x? What answer are you having?
Pardon?
I want to look at your fx. I'm not seeing the fine x. Okay, I've seen it. Can you try to show us that you really get that answer? When you get gf of x?
How do I get a gf of x?
No, like, do you get the same expression, like 24x plus 10?
Yes, okay, now. You see how I got this? Are you asking at this stage?
Because we've got that one from the real expressions that were given from the question. So I think it has given us the same thing as we had in the question. So thank you very much.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, Mbale SS. Allow me now to thank you so much, Mbale SS, for the presentation. Allow me now to have St. Lawrence. St. Lawrence, are we ready? St. Lawrence, are we ready?
Mr. Kaziva.
Yes.
As St. Lawrence maybe gets ready, there is this boy who needed to finish his question. Can he go on such that we can go off from Balices at once?
Okay, Mr. Masala, let's complete the last part.
Okay.
Yes. Good afternoon. By the name Sam Wherever Edry, a student of Mbale Secondary School. I'm going to solve a matrix question. It's number 63. I'm solving a question of matrix number 63, which says, find the values of X and Y such that the question says, find the values of X and Y such that for X -1. The question is number 63. -1, X, Y, equivalent 4, 8. So it's number 63. The question is requiring us to solve for the values of X and Y. In our working, we shall say solution, whereby to solve the value of X and Y, we shall need to use multiplication method. And when we are multiplying matrices, we use row by column. So we shall say 4 times X. Shall say 4 times X plus 1 times Y, because we are multiplying row by column. We group them into brackets. Then we shall have X times X plus -1 times Y. We equate it to 4, 8. So I think we can now multiply 4 times X, we shall have 4X plus 1 times Y, we shall have Y. X times X, we shall have X squared plus -Y times Y, we shall have -Y. We equate it to 4, 8. So we sort, I think here we have, now we rearrange it to solve for these two. A positive plus a negative, we shall have a negative. So we arrange it as 4x plus y. This is x squared minus y being equivalent to 4, 8. So we equate these matrices to this matrix given, whereby we shall have, here we shall have 4x plus y being equivalent to 4, and x squared minus y being equivalent to 8.
So when equating, we shall be when we have got, and we shall have equation 1, and this will be our equation 2. So we shall have 4x plus y being equivalent to 4, and x squared minus y equals to 8. So on our equation 2, we make y the subject such that we can replace it in our equation 1. So here we shall have, so let us solve for the equation 1, we make y to be the subject in the equation 1, where we shall say 4x plus y equals to 4. Now that we need to make y the subject, so we shall transfer the 4x to this side, and we remain with y being equivalent to 4 minus 4x. Not so. So we bring our equation 2. We bring our equation 2 minus y equals to 8. So where there is y, we shall replace it with this y we have got. Not so. Where we shall have x squared. Our y is what? 34 minus 4x equals to 8. 8 is not a negative. So it will be minus into bracket 4 minus 4x. Whereby we shall have x squared. So this negative 4 times positive 4, we shall have negative 4. Then negative 4 times negative 4x, we shall have positive 4x equivalent to 8. So we need to transfer this 8 this side, and we equate it to 0 so that we can solve it. Whereby we shall have x squared minus 4 plus 4x minus, with this x, when it crosses this side, it will become a negative, being equivalent to 0. Yeah, we are solving it using a quadratic equation. So we shall have x squared. We arrange the x squared plus, this is 4x minus 4 minus 8 being equivalent to 0. So we shall have, so here we shall have x squared plus, this is 4x, and negative 4 minus a negative 8, we shall have negative 12 equals to 0. It will be equivalent to 0. So from our equation, it will require us to note the product, the sum, whereby our product we shall have 1 times negative 12. This is our product. Our product will be equals to 1 times negative 12. Whereby our product will be negative 12. So, and we, from the equation, we note the sum, where our sum will be will be 4. So we shall need to get the factors of 12, which will help us to find the numbers which are able to give us the 4. So we shall find for factors of 12, which will be 1, because 1 times 12 you get 12, 2 times 6 you will have 12, 3 times 4 you'll have 12, 4 times 3 you will have 12, 6 times 2 you will have 12, then 12 itself. It's also a factor to itself. So from our factor that we have listed, we shall be able to know the numbers such that when we multiply them, we shall have 12. And if we get those two numbers, we subtract, we shall be able to have the sum. So the numbers are 6 and 12. Because if we can try to group them, like 1 times 12, we shall have 12. And 12 minus 1, we shall have 11. So this one can't give us. So 2, then we make them in pairs. Okay. So the numbers which will be 2 and 12. Our numbers will be 2 and 6. Will be 2 and 6, because on our number that we got, where we note that the sum will be 4. If we have 2 negative 2 plus 6, we shall have 4. So we shall say x squared. So where there is 4, we shall replace with the two numbers that are giving us 12. So it will be x squared minus 2x plus 6x minus 12, giving us 0. So we continue. So when we have written like this, we shall group them into brackets. So we deal with the first bracket. What's common in the first bracket? It's x. And if we pull out 1x here, we shall remain with x. And this side we shall have 2 plus. What's common in this bracket is 6. If we pull out 6 here, we shall remain with what? X, and here 2, being equivalent to 0. So now we can group. These two brackets are the same, so we create the other brackets where we shall have x plus 6 into x minus 2 equals to 0. I think here now we have come to our answer. We are looking at our answer, just knocking. So we shall have x. We can use this bracket. We can use this bracket to solve for x or this one. So x values will be 2. We shall have x plus 6 equals to 0. So we transfer x this side, where we shall have x being equivalent to 0 minus 6, where x will be equivalent to negative 6. That is the first value of x. So on the second value of x, we shall have x minus 2. So we shall have x minus 2 equals to 0. So we are looking for x, so we shall transfer this to here, where we shall have x equals to 0 plus 2, where our x will be equals to 2. So those are two values of x, which the question number 63 required us to get. So thank you. So anyone who has a question concerning how to find values of x and y? Okay, thank you. 1. So we have finished finding the value of x. So now we shall find the value of x, whereby we shall substitute this x into one of our equations, either 1 or 2. Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes. Yes. Anyone asking?
Bonjo, are you asking a question? Please ask.
Pardon? Pardon, the one?
Vale, go on.
So I think one of my, I don't remember my equation 1 because I've wrote, but it was x squared minus y being equivalent to what? It was equivalent to equals to 8, yeah? Okay, thank you. So we shall have y is equal to 4 minus 4x. So we transfer. Where there is x, we shall replace it with the x value that we have got. So y equals to 4 minus 4x. So where our y will be 4, the x value we have got as 2 or -6, we can use any of the 2. Let me use 2. I shall have -4 times 2, which is where 4, where it will
Excuse
be 4.
me.
It's 4. I think we have finished the values of x and y. Any question?
I've got the value of x, but the value of y, I don't know whether you have got it.
Pardon, please.
The value of x, but maybe you have got the value of x, y. Maybe you tell us how you can get the value of y.
Pardon, please, I'm not hearing.
He's asking how to find the value of y.
Your y have not got the value of y. Maybe you show us how you get the value of y.
How to do what?
You have got the how to get the value of y.
Continue and find the value of y. That's what we did before. Mbale, can you continue and find the values of y?
Yes, please. What's that? Fine. So we solve for the 2 values of y, where x, in our equation 2 we say that x is equal to x1. So let us try to solve where we got the 2 values, because the first value of x was 2 and the next value of x was -6. So let us try to solve for y, where where x is a -6. So we say y equals to 4 minus 4x. And where there is x, we shall replace it with -6. And we have y equals to 4 minus 4 into brackets, -6. So our y will be equals to 4. This is 4. So this is -4. -4 times -6, we shall have how many? We shall have a positive 24, where our y will be equivalent to 16.
Check your calculation.
Where our y we shall have 28. That is also another value of y. So the two values of y are y equals to -4 and y equals to 28.
How do you state your final answer?
So we shall say therefore So our final answer will be, because the question required us to find the values of x and y, but the values of x, we were to solve them when brackets were given in matrix form. So we shall say, therefore, the values of x are, the values of x are 2 and -6. Those are for x, and also and 2 and -6, and the values of y are -4 and 28. Thank you. So anyone who has a question on finding the values of x and y?
Mbale SS, are you hearing me?
It seems Mbale is stuck. My side, Mbale is stuck. How is your side, Mr. Ronald?
They seem to be stuck, but those are paired values. When x is this, y is that. When x is this, y is that.
Yeah. That one.
Okay. Mr. Ronald, can we have the last one, maybe from St. Lawrence?
Are they ready? St. Lawrence, are you there?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, let's have sums. Let's first have from sums, then we shall have.
Okay.
Mr. Kaziva, St. Lawrence was already on the floor. I don't know. Mr. Kaziva, can we allow St. Lawrence to go on? I can see their video is already showing. St. Lawrence, can you continue now that you are showing?
Okay, thank you, sir. My name is Hibuji Eric from St. Lawrence, Paris Palais, S4 class. And I was given a number 28, and it is in the topic of angle properties of a circle. And to look in this diagram that they've given to us, you have to first identify the tools, because the question says that we should find the circumference. Now, according to the question, they've given us that QS is the diameter of the circle. PRS is equal to 42 degrees, and PQ is equal to 59 centimeters. So you identify the tools that have been used. Tools used, they've given us the diameter, and the diameter is defined as a chord, but a special chord that passes through the center of the circle. Therefore, it divides the circle into two equal parts. So that means this part is equal to the other part. Then another tool that has been given to us according to the diagram, when you look keenly in the figure, you can see that a line from the circumference to the circumference has been given to us. And it's not one, they are over 3. This is 1, 2, 3, but they're not passing through the center. That means they are called chords. So these are the tools that have been given to us. And they've told us to find the circumference of a circle. But we know that a circumference of a circle is found as circumference is equal to pi diameter. Now, in the question that has been given to us,
St. Lawrence, there is somebody with a gadget near you. They need to move far or mute their volume. It's giving us feedback.
Okay. So the circumference is given by pi diameter. Pi is a constant from the circle that has been given to us. It is what? QS. This QS has not been given to us. The length of this line has not been given to us, but they've told us that angle PRS is equal to 42 degrees. But now from angle properties of a circle, we know that any chord subtends an angle, and any chord subtends equal angles to the circumference. For example, if a chord has been given to me, for example, this is the circle. If a chord has been given to me and it's like this, and this angle is going to be equal to this angle. So that means from each point of the chord, if I get a line from that point and put it at the circumference, and I get another point and put it at the circumference, this angle made can be equal to any angle that is made from the same point to a different point of the circumference. That means this angle can be equal to this angle and can be equal to this angle. Therefore, if I take the chord as PS, this angle is going to be equal to what? To this angle. From the circle, from from the property that says a chord of a circle subtends an angle at the center of the circle. This is the center, and subtends another angle at the circumference here, and the angle it forms at the circumference is twice the angle that is the angle that is in the center. It is twice the angle that is at the circumference. If this is x, that means this is going to be what? 2x. Now, if I'm to take my chord as PS, that means this angle is going to be equal to that angle. That's if I've used a chord. And now in the question, they've given us two tools that we are going to use, a diameter and a chord. Now to go to the chord, to the diameter, a diameter, the angle property states that, the circle property states that any angle made by the diameter at the circumference. For example, if this is my diameter, this is the center. If I draw a line from the last point of the diameter, joining it to the other point, this angle is always what? 90 degrees. So even if the circle is like this, and this is the diameter, even if I make this line to come here, and this line to meet it here, this angle is always what? 90 degrees. That means from the circle that has been given to us, the diameter is QS, and they've told us to find the what? The circumference. The circumference is what? Pi diameter. This is the diameter. But now we've seen that any angle made by the diameter is always 90. That means if this is the diagram that has been drawn to me, and this is the diameter, QS, that means the angle it made at the circumference here is what? 90. Hence giving us a what? A right angle triangle. Are you seeing this? So this point P, this is point P, and this is point S, and then this is point what? Q. And this is the center of the circle. Then they've told us that the distance from here up to here is what? 5.9 centimeters. So now, if I go back to the chord, if I'm to use chord SP, remember this chord is subtending two angles at different points at the circumference. That means if this angle is 42 degrees, this angle is also what? 42 degrees. This angle here is also what? 42 degrees. If this one is what? 42 degrees. So this is going to give us a triangle, a right angle triangle, and this angle here is going to be 42 degrees. Now, after identifying all that, now from this step, now you can identify the distance of the what? Of the diameter from the trigonometry formula. So after identifying everything here, you go and do everything following the order. First of all, they've given you the diameter, and we know that a diameter subtends. Subtending means that if lines are drawn from the other point to the other point to the circumference, it means that that angle made has been subtended by the line below or the line above. So a diameter subtends an angle of 90 degrees at the circumference. So this is where we are going to get our right angle triangle, because in the diagram that has been given to us, they told us QS is the what? Is the diameter. And in angle properties, never assume a line to be the diameter unless you're told so, or unless you're told that a line is passing through point O, and point O has been stated as the what? The center. So this is where we are going to get our what? Our right angle triangle, this one here. Now we know that that angle PQS is what? 90 degrees. PQS is what? 90 degrees. So from there you state another property that brings you to this, where we shall get our angle what? Our angle SPQ. That says that, so this means that SPQ is equal to what? 90 degrees. Therefore, triangle SPQ is a right angle triangle. So from that, we go to the next angle property. In angle properties, after writing an angle or before writing any answer, you have to state the what? The property, what the property says. So we go to the next property. The next property says that a chord subtends equal angles at the circumference of the circle. So that means angle SRP is equal to angle SQ, it's equal to angle SQP. Therefore, this angle, remember we are looking for this angle here. This angle SQP, angle SQP is equal to what? 42 degrees from this property that has been stated above. So this will give us a right angle triangle. So this will give us a right angle triangle. Here P, this is Q, and this is S. This is the diameter of the circle, and this is 5.9 centimeters. So this is angle what? Our angle SQP is what? 42 degrees. Now from trigonometry, the recall plane memory formula from SOHCAHTOA. Now, from this point here, we always know that in trigonometry, we always know that the slanting line is always the what? The hypotenuse. The line opposite to the angle is always the opposite, and the line that remains here, that sometimes is always the base, though not all times, it is called the what? The adjacent. So from this area, we know that this is the adjacent, this is the angle, and this is the hypotenuse. And now we are looking for the diameter, which is the hypotenuse. So let the diameter be D. Let the diameter be D. So if this is D, now we have been given adjacent, we know the angle, and we are looking for hypotenuse. So you go to the formula of SOHCAHTOA and find the formula that you're going to use. You find the segment that you're going to use because they are like this. Now you go to the segment that has adjacent and hypotenuse. Now from here, this one has opposite and hypotenuse. We are not looking for what? For the opposite, but we are looking for the hypotenuse. That means we are not going to use this. If you go to the cos segment, it has the adjacent and it has the what? The hypotenuse. Therefore, we are going to use this one. Because we have the angle, we have the adjacent, and we are looking for the hypotenuse. So it is cos. You're going to go to the step below and say cos theta is equal to adjacent out of hypotenuse. So this angle, this theta represents are adjacent.
Are we losing you?
Adjacent is 5.9. Going to put D, and we know everyone. So it will.
Your mic is muted. Your mic is muted. Please unmute.
I know the schedule for the chemistry.
Please complete pari pale, complete. You've taken a lot of time. Complete.
Okay. So our diameter is going to be 7.939 centimeters. So from that, we know now the diameter of the circle. So circumference is equal to pi diameter, which is going to be 22 out of 7 times 7.939. And you get your answer in centimeters. And the answer will be, give me the calc. So the answer will be, when you press on your calc, get the answer. You will say 22 times 7.939 divided by 7 to get 24.95 as your answer. I think the number is done. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, St. Lawrence Paripale, for that presentation. We gave you more time to complete. You could have summarized that calculation easily, but we will go on improving. Our dear participants, we have really run out of time for today. I just want to remind everyone that we have a repeat of this session tomorrow, starting at 2 p.m., 2 to 5. And those schools that have missed today will be coming on, but also those presenters who have not been able to present today, we can if you can come back tomorrow, you might be the first schools to present, so that then the new schools can get to know from you how a presentation needs to be made. We want to thank all the presenters who have come. Mr. Kaziba, are you back online?
Yes, Mr. Ronald.
Okay, I think we need to get into the closing remarks.
Okay, okay, Mr. Ronald. Okay, maybe the few last words for those who may not be able to join us. Now, I want to thank all the teachers that have joined in, all the teachers that have prepared the learners, but I want to just share something brief to our candidates. Within less than a month, we are going to be going in for our mocks. And what do you need to know? Now, this is the last package for you. Now, as you prepare for your exam for math, please carry the following. There are things you must go with. One, you must have a calculator. In case you don't have a calculator with you, please carry it. Then you need a mathematical set, a foot ruler, and then the mathematical tables. For the mathematical tables, they will always be provided by the school. So always, as you go for your paper, please ask the teacher that I need a mathematical table. So in those mathematical tables, we have some formulas inside there. At times we forget the formulas, but once you have the table, you can easily write it such that you do not make a mistake. Any mistake you make in the formula will cost you greatly. So please always ask for them. In case you're not sure of any formula, then please ask them. Then please, let's avoid the following. One, never round off from your calculator. Rounding off from the calculator means that at times we get values. Let me say you have placed an angle, and then for you, maybe an angle, the calculator is maybe 3, 5, 6 degrees. Never round off from your calculator. Always make sure that in case it's an angle, you write it to 1 decimal place. So first go on and write your answer you have got from the calculator at least to 2 decimal places. Then after, go on and write your final answer as 60.4 degrees. All angles for trigonometry and so on, we shall always write them to 1 decimal place unless they have specified the number of decimal places that write to 2 or write to this. But in case they have not specified, first write your answer the way you are getting it on the calculator. Then after, go on and write your final answer. Then we know very well that this paper takes 2.5 hours. I want you now to learn how to budget for your time that you are going to use. So 2.5 hours is approximately 150 minutes. So meaning that as you are going for the paper, what do you need to know? One is that on the 150 minutes, you cannot use the whole time to do the paper. You are going to use only 140 minutes as you are preparing. And I want us to start this one, starting with the mocks that we are going to be having. So for section A, when it comes to section A numbers, each number every number you have in section A, make sure that you use only 6 minutes to do that number. In case it goes beyond 6 minutes, first leave the number, go to another number. So make sure you budget your time well such that you can be able to finish. So each section A number takes 60 minutes. And you know that in section A, we have 10 numbers, meaning that when you multiply 10 times 6, those are 60 minutes. Meaning that when you are doing section A, spend a maximum of 1 hour. When it comes to section B, every number spend 15 minutes. Every number spend 15 minutes. So meaning that if I told you spend 15 minutes on every number, at the end, you are going to be doing 5 numbers, and every number, 5 times 15, you end up with 75 minutes. Meaning that the 75 minutes, when you add it on the 60 minutes, you'll have used 135 minutes for the paper. Remember, the whole paper is 150. So meaning that now the remaining minutes that you are having, you are going to use them to check through, have I made any mistake? So you're remaining with 15 minutes. You are checking, have I made any mistake or there is no mistake? So I want you to learn how to plan when you are doing, because once you don't plan well, it means that you'll not be able to finish your paper. And please, let's note also there are some numbers as we are going for the paper. We have what we call the must-know sections. When it comes to paper 1, as you are preparing for the paper, here we have the 3 marks. One number you need to know is the statistics number. When you look at all your papers, when you look at any paper, a number of statistics will never miss. You will not miss numbers concerning matrices and transformation. You are not going to miss a number about equations and quadratics. So when you are preparing for paper 1, make sure that you have those numbers. You do those numbers, you practice on a daily basis that those sections are really well captured. When you are preparing for paper 2, make sure that you know your functional mapping, vectors, sets and probability, and business math. When you go in the paper, when you know all these sections, this is already credited free. You have your credited free already assured. And if at all we are looking for our distinction 1, we shall add on just 3 questions in each paper, then you have your distinction 1. So starting from today, I want you to practice. Don't go for mocks when you don't know those sections. And I want to end by wishing you well. Please, if at all, there is one of the quotes I want to use, that you cannot keep doing the same thing the same way and expect different results. So after the seminar, do something different. Practice. Mathematics requires practicing. Do all those seminar questions. At the end, next year, January, February, you'll be giving us a testimony. Once you have all those seminar questions done, I want to assure you, you have your D1 already secured. Make sure you do all the seminar questions, have them on your fingertips, have those sections you think they are really, you must have them at the head. So make sure that every day you practice a number of mathematics. Allow me now to thank all the teachers from the different schools. I want to thank all the teachers who have prepared you for this seminar. Thank you so much, dear teachers and the school administrators for preparing the learners. And I want also to thank all the students that have joined in the call. We shall have the session tomorrow, another session. Please, you can join in to have more of what we are going to be doing. We shall finish those seminar questions, and even for the questions that we shall not finish, we have already uploaded most of the presentations. So please, you visit the Padlet. All those solutions are going to be there. For schools that have not been able to present, we apologize. And tomorrow we shall be having you. We shall have some of your videos played tomorrow, and we shall have, in case your school can join in, we can also have you tomorrow join the call. Allow me now to invite Mr. Ronald to give us the concluding remarks, and then he closes the session. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kaziba. Before I say anything, may I invite William to play for us that last renew video? William?
In the age of collaboration, it is commonplace for researchers and staff of your institution to visit another institution. But accessing reliable, secure, and trusted connectivity at the institution they are visiting is a big problem. In the same way, staff visiting your institution from other institutions find this a problem. Most times, you find that the visiting researchers have to contact the IT departments to get access to the network, which is normally availed in the form of a temporary user account or shared passwords for wireless connections. But this approach comes with many problems. First, it is not secure. Once you are connected to the network in such a way, anyone connected to the same network can listen in to your online activity, including picking passwords to your confidential resources and repositories. Also, with shared passwords, it is very difficult to account for every user's activity on your network. Eduroam is the answer. Once your institution is connected to the RENU network, the RENU team can assist your IT team to deploy Eduroam at your institution, so when your staff members visit another institution that has Eduroam, they get connected to the wireless network without doing anything or asking anyone. Very easy, right? And this easy connectivity is achieved using the email address that your institution assigned to your staff. On top of the ease to connect, Eduroam is very secure, reliable, and trusted. Once connected through Eduroam, you do not have to worry about anyone listening into your online activity. Your passwords and confidential resources are all safe. Eduroam is also very easy to deploy. With Eduroam, it is also easy to account for what every user who visited your network did. No dirty deeds. The ease to connect the network and elimination of shared passwords means your IT department is much less busy with supporting connectivity queries. Eduroam is currently deployed in over 100 countries globally in various education and research institutions and even airports, public libraries, and museums. In Uganda, it is provided through RENU. With this global footprint, don't let your staff members connect to random wireless networks when they travel. Eduroam is your answer. For more information on Eduroam, please contact the RENU Secretariat.
Okay. Thank you, William, and thank you, Brian. Thank you, RENU, for enabling us have this seminar. We are working towards having the schools, more schools connected, private and government connected to RENU, so that we can connect to the Eduroam link you have been listening to. And that means when you go home, you go to a total petrol station, you will find Eduroam. You go to a hospital, you go to a university, you go to a bank, you go somewhere, you find Eduroam and you simply connect with your phones. Going forward, we are putting all these solutions and all the videos of presentation. We have also received videos from schools. We have recorded this whole session. We are putting this online and you need to access it. Now, accessing it can be costly. And that's why we are talking about your schools being connected to the RENU connectivity so that you can access these easily, whether you have gone home or you are in school. Of course, in school, you don't use your phones, but when you're at home, you would be using your phones. But if you have that email given to you by the school, then the connection can be easy. This might come to reality when you're in A-level, but we are talking about it now. I want to thank all the presenters and all the teachers who have gone through a whole month of preparation with the students. Well done. Tomorrow, we are set to see more schools. Some of the schools today are going to come back tomorrow, but others who have not been here today will be coming back tomorrow. So if you want to listen in to other schools or to listen in more to the discussion, then tomorrow at 2 p.m. we shall be open. I want to thank our colleagues. We've had someone from Moni National Teachers College who has been listening in, and tomorrow we might be able to get the pre-service teachers, the teachers who are training to be teachers joining in so that they listen to the kind of students they're coming to teach. But we also had student teachers from NTC Mubende earlier on in the day, and I want to thank them. I also know that I've had my colleagues from the Ministry of Education jumping in to see what is possible within our education institutions. I want to thank Mr. Kaziba and your team at Holistic E-Learning Platform for the job well done. Let's continue pushing, and we should be able to get to where we want to be very soon. To all the head teachers who have allowed the schools to connect in, we thank you, and please let us continue encouraging other head teachers to join in. With that, I want to wish everybody a good afternoon and say that this session has been closed now until tomorrow at 2 p.m. But we need someone from Mbale SS to pray for us. Mbale SS, could we get somebody to pray for us from your end? Mr. Masaba, is Mbale SS still there? Okay, maybe we get someone from another school. Sacred Heart, thank you for joining all the way from Gulu. Elizabeth, yes. Elizabeth joined in as an individual. Sam Iga, please pray for us, Elizabeth.
Mr. Dung.
Okay, let's humble ourselves with a word of prayer. Our kind and loving Father Jehovah, thank you for this day. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for enabling us to be here on this platform. Thank you also for the provision of the data. And also thank you for keeping our head teachers and all the teachers alive so that they're here to teach us, even our parents. As the session of today has ended, we pray that may also bless us so that even tomorrow we can wake up healthy and then we continue the session. Will you please help us that nothing bad happens? And also we pray that our connection will be very good. As for now, I want to leave the rest of the day under your care, and we bring this prayer through the name of your dear Son, Jesus Christ, the reigning King. Amen.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Could we open our cameras, those who are still on the schools, open your cameras and we take a photo. Those who are still on, open your cameras and we take a photo. Yes, St. Michael, we can see St. Michael is there. Okay, Mbale says is there. Okay, we want to take a photo. Please keep the cameras open. Okay, St. Michael. Mbale, your camera is facing on the other end. We can't. Okay. That is Mbale SS. Do we have any other school that has an open camera? Okay. Okay, I think that is it for today. Bye-bye. Mbale, wave to us. Bye-bye, St. Michael. Mbale, wave to us. Okay.